Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
I have a question for you. If you woke up this Friday morning and you looked in your bank account and there was $10,080 magically there, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. But the only stipulation is you have to spend it all in 1 week and it'll be gone. And then the following week, you'll get another $10,080 deposited, and so on and so on. You can spend it however you want. Or if you don't spend it, it disappears. Would you spend every cent every week, or would you allow it to be wasted and taken away from you? Well, guys, this Friday, you're going to wake up and there's going to be 10,080 minutes that God has given you for the next week. And you can spend them however you want, or you can simply waste them. Guys, I highly suggest that you spend every minute of next week doing amazing things, and don't allow 1 minute to be squandered, because you never know when God won't deposit another 10,080 minutes in your life, guys. Go out and live a great life.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
good morning, you early birds. Nice to see you bright and early this Thursday morning as we're gliding into the weekend and starting off right. How did you like that statement coming in? I was watching or going through social media. I came across that and I thought, wow, what a positive message that is. Really kind of puts things into perspective for you. So go out and spend your 10,080 minutes next week doing amazing things. God bless the gentleman that that put that together. I love the message. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Sonia, it's nice to see you here early this morning, followed by Brandy, Teresa, Nana of 7. Nice to see you, just Samantha. Who else do we have? Sue Helton, nice to see you this morning. We got some good news to go over as well. Kathy, oh, nice to see you. Lord have mercy, I got to get down to West Palm Beach. You just keep reminding me. Anyways, nice to see you. Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. ZA, Misty, Cranky Pants in the house, Melly Joe, Angie B, Angie Gibson, Pen 1010, Sean. And guys, Sean is reminding us, do not forget to hit that like button on your way in as we start filling up the chat room. We've already got 123 people in here. And if you're not clicking that like button, I'm not talking to you today. I'm just joking. Pat Gaines, Stephanie, nice to see you in here. Nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Tammy T, Sword of the Spirit. Thank you for all the emails of stuff. We've been reading them, and it's been really good information. So I appreciate all that you're doing to help keep me together. Patty, it's nice to see you. Clarinda, nice to see you. Kim. Who else have I missed? Darlin Polka, nice to see you. And Misty, I see you in here. Emma, it's nice to see you. Sepsis Kills. Who else do we have? I'm rolling through here. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Joyce Swift, nice to see you. Crafty Florida Lady, good morning. Jean Hope, nice to see you. Joyce Swift, I think I've already said hi to you, but if I didn't, good morning. Good morning, Roberts Girl. Kim, 22. Daisy Chain, good morning. I think I may have said hi to you, Teresa, but if I didn't, you get a second one from Bullhorn Betty this morning. Amanda, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have? Southern Granny Wolf, nice to see you. Bonnie's Journey, nice to see you, love. JLB 32, good morning. Sheila, good morning. Mama Bear 123, boom. Vape King is in the house. Kayla, good morning. I think that's it. Amy, good morning. Good morning, all. It's nice to see you guys here this morning. That was easy. It's not too awfully hard to get through that. Love it. Trying to see what's on our, I haven't even opened my book today because I started the live early. I wasn't prepared to start the live early. I thought I was. Good morning, Bridget, mom of 2. Nice to see you here this morning. So March 9th, which is today, it says, know your limits. This is for all those that want to know what book am I reading from. It's The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beattie. I've had this book for well over 15 years. When I first came out, I thought it was only 10. And then I aged 5 years overnight. It's probably longer than that now because we've been reading it for the last year and a half, right? I'm losing track of time. I'm entirely too young to be able to say, I got that 15 years ago. Okay, guys, I just want to put that out there. I'm entirely too young to say that. I do not want to be the woman that said, 20 years ago, nope, not this chick here. Nope. So know your limits. While it's good to be compassionate, we can become overly compassionate too. I agree with that. Don't work so hard at judging other people that you forget to pay attention to what you don't like. I know what it feels like to be abandoned and left. I don't like the feeling, so I'm not going to leave my boyfriend, Clara says. She's living with a man who abuses her emotionally and physically. I'm not going to judge her, Ralph says about his new wife. She's using cocaine, stealing money from him to get high. She's had a hard life, and I haven't walked in her shoes. I need to be compassionate and non-judgmental with my son, Robert says about his child who's driving him to distraction with his manipulation and lies. Is that right? Distraction? Yeah, it does say distraction. Doesn't sound right, but it says it. He's had a hard life. His mother died when he was 3. I'm the only person he's got left. You can set boundaries with someone without judging that person. You can decide that behaviors are inappropriate and hurt you without condemning that person. Don't forget to have the right to say, ouch. We can say whatever with compassion and still take care of ourselves. God help me set appropriate limits with people in my life. So I think March, as we're reading through March, it sounds like the messaging for March is, 1, identify manipulation, because we can be manipulated so very easily in this world. You know, we're very compassionate people. We have emotions and things like that. But I think that the March segment is really about setting those healthy boundaries in your life, setting those healthy boundaries. So no matter what people are for them, you can accept them for who they truly are, as long as you have your healthy boundaries set and don't let them cross it. So I really am enjoying the March segment of the language of letting go. I hope you guys are all getting something out of it as well. I know you guys have seen the thumbnail. So I got a message from one of the mods in here. I'm not going to say her name, Miss Robin. No. And, you know, this is going to make the haters, for all the haters out there that like watching the Bullhorn Betty channel for your content, here, let me help you out. Let me put some change in your pockets, like I always do, right? Let me put some change in your pockets, because we know you need those little nickels, right? You know you need those little nickels. And so Robin sent me over an article from Vanity Fair. I mentioned in the article. It's with Brian Entin. They're interviewing Brian Entin, and I mentioned in the article. Now, God bless Brian. You know, he has a hard enough job as it is without Bullhorn Betty rocking the boat, right? But I love Brian Entin. He's a sweet person. A very kind, gentle soul in the flesh. I mean, what you kind of see is what you get. He's a real sweet guy. That's why I never say anything bad about him. And God bless him, because he didn't say anything bad about me. The writer of the article, on the other hand, she doesn't like me. That's okay. Kathleen, I went ahead and sent you a message anyways. I sent you an email, honey. Hopefully you call me back. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. But before we get into the whole Vanity Fair and the love triangle between Vanity Fair, Brian Entin, and Bullhorn Betty that just went awry, right? We're going to get over to some good news. This is the power of YouTube, folks. This is the power of social media. So yesterday we had a case. Her name was Chelsea Wiley. And we're hoping to bring her home safe. We're running it. You know, we cautioned our audience, you know, let's not get a knee-jerk reaction. Let's just, you know, wait. Let's see what's going on. We want to advocate. Okay. All right, Pebbles. I hear you. And you said email. Okay. Let me see what we got in email. But, you know, and it's one of the things that, hold on, Pebbles. Did I see you come through? I do not see your email unless you're under a different name. But I will go through my emails. Mama, thank you for everything you do. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you, Mama Bear. God bless you. So we used our platform to advocate for a woman that was missing. And we wanted to bring her home safe. And I cautioned, you know, all the audience out here, you know, let's not have a knee-jerk reaction. You know, yes, there's a lot of red flags. We can identify that this story really didn't make sense. And I cautioned everybody, because truth is stranger than fiction. And at the end of the day, we don't want somebody going through, because social media can be just nasty. There are just some people out there that like to do the conspiracy theories, that like to, you know, threaten people because they think it has to be true. And then they go out and attack, like, say, Paul, her boyfriend. They will be calling him saying, what did you do with her? We know you killed her. You're going down, blah, pitchforks and, the firing squad behind them, and, just laser focused on something without having enough information to make heads or tails of it. A lot of people accuse me of that. And that couldn't be further from the truth, because we actually do the work here before we open our mouths, especially when to place blame on somebody, we have to have overwhelming information here to point a finger at a specific person, period. And I know the haters try to act like we don't know what we're doing, but every time, every case, we show and prove that, we're not just willy-nilly and here for the clicks and the views. We are here to advocate for victims. We are here to, make sure that justice is served by anybody that violates somebody's rights. And a lot of this stuff is, children. And obviously we're putting stuff in motion right now to help the children. I've got a meeting today with attorneys in Tennessee to help, guide a conversation about what we can do for our children. And I go through this over and over again with people that are willing to hear and talk to me. And that's really, at the end of the day, we advocate. It's not just about the storyline. It's about the avocation that comes with it. Just like it's not about me complaining. If I've got to complain about something, I better be doing action to overcome that complaint. If I think something is wrong, for me, then I'm not going to ask my neighbor to go fight for my behalf. I'm going to do it myself. So if people don't like what we are doing, you're more than welcome to get off your butt and go do it better and go do it differently and stuff like that. But the problem is they won't. So anyways, getting back to this, we advocate for people. Chelsea Wiley was found. She was found yesterday. Why? Because social media reaches a lot further than mainstream media. Everybody has YouTube on their phones. Most of the phones come with YouTube built into the phones. Most of them come standard with the app of Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Tell me I'm lying. Already preset, okay? What they don't have on their phones, they don't have CNN, Fox News. Those don't come standard, right? News Nation doesn't come standard. Local news doesn't come standard on your phone, but what you do find on your phone is social media. I did not read, Amy, where she was found at, but we do know she was found, and she was found safely as of yesterday. We made sure we talked about it on some channels. I even went over to JLR. I don't really, just like JLR doesn't really come over here, I don't really go over to JLR's channel too much. But he was talking. I saw him on his live, just like I do with Dolly. If I find a case, I'll pop into the chat and say, hey, new case, new case. I really, truly believe it was the avocation of social media like T-Rev and others that were talking about this case that finally got it to the attention of this young girl, where she may have called her family. But either way, she was found, and she was found on the heels of social media taking this case and running with it. I'm sorry. It is what it is. And whether people like it or not, social media, mainstream media is a dying breed. That's why mainstream media is starting to come on to social media, because they're never going to make it being cable. Cable's dying out, folks. We all know it. How many people by a show of ones have no cable in their home and stream everything? By a show of ones. How many people in this chat right now have no cable in their home? I'm one. I have no cable in this house. None. Exactly. So how are you guys getting the news from across the country? You know how? Because you're coming here to YouTube to get your news. You're coming here to YouTube to get your news. And we cover that. Okay. There are a few too. So God bless you guys that are still hanging on to, the cable networks. I can't do it. Here's why. I think it's entirely too expensive to sit there and watch TV with commercials going every 15 minutes. You're literally watching every time you turn around a commercial. Whereas you come here, you get a 2-hour segment, you might have 3 commercials in it the entire time, maybe 2, sometimes 1. We're not having to stop and roll to a commercial break, on social media. We have to keep everything going and going and going. So anyways, I really truly believe that we do help out there. We do good work, and we get attention. And I get that media, some media people don't like it. I'm sorry we run circles around you guys. I'm sorry we're more techie with our research. They even tried this Vanity Fair article, which we're going to get into, even discredited Red, White, and Bethune, that turned over their videos that helped locate Gabby Petito. But hey, they didn't really do anything, according to Kathleen Hale. They're just them. Baby, Kathleen Hale, let me say something to you, baby. You might want to fix that crown on top of your head. And don't stand too high on that pedestal, baby girl. Don't be standing too high up on that pedestal, because you might fall. You see what I'm saying? You might fall. And not only that, but I don't have producers. I don't have people that put money in my pocket to give me a salary to run to Idaho to cover this case. You know who has to do that? Me, my audience. That's how I get out there. I have to work 1,000 times harder to get out to these cases to cover them than any other news reporter out there, Kathleen. But I hope you call me. I did provide you my cell phone number, Kathleen Hale. I did provide you my cell phone number. So hopefully you'll call me and talk to me. We'll see where your integrity lies. God bless Brian Entin, because he refused to say anything negative about me. At the end of the day, I know him. We spent weeks in front of Gabby Petito's house. Every crime case that I go to, guess who I run into out there? I run into Brian Entin. You know why Brian doesn't say anything negative about me? Because when he was covering the political stuff and nobody would talk to him, it took me going out there and saying he's a good guy. I helped him get interviews. I didn't do that for compensation, clicks, or views. I did it because it was the right thing to do, and he's a good guy. So again, Brian Entin, thank you for being kind with your words to me. I love the little punchline. I have to be nice. I can't remember what he says, but he jokingly said, we have to be nice to Bullhorn Betty. We don't want her showing up with the bullhorn. I love Brian Entin. I do love Brian Entin. But you got to remember, I knew Brian Entin when he was nobody. When he knew me when I was nobody, right? Like, I'm sorry. It's kind of like one of these things where we kind of grew up together. It's kind of hard to be nasty. Like now, Ashley Banfield, I will talk for hours and hours about my disdain for Ashley Banfield. But you talk about Brian Entin, I'm like Mama Bear. Like, don't be messing with my boy. Don't be messing with my boy, right? And always been very kind and courteous to me. We all work in the same profession. No matter how you look at it, we cover the news. We cover true crime news, not all the news. I try to stay out of all the political stuff, except with in some consideration. We do have to do something with our children. And the bottom line is nothing's going to get done unless you bring a freaking politician or a bureaucrat involved, right? It is what it is. I don't like the process, but it's the process. So we try to keep all of that off here because I respect my entire audience, and I realize we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different ways of thinking. And at the end of the day, who cares? If we're all fighting for advocacy for these victims and stuff, who cares, what we do in our off time? Who cares? I don't care. You know what I want? I want people inspired. I don't care where they come from or how they got here. I just want them inspired to do better in this country. And whatever country they live, because let's be honest, we're worldwide, right? We're worldwide. So it was a little, but we will go through it a little bit more. I'm going to go into it in depth, but I had some things. I read the article and all right, let Kathleen down, lady. Calm down. Your horns are sticking out, woman. I did write her, though. I did write her. And then after, of course, this is a person that writes for Vanity Fair. And then, of course, after I click send, I reread this thing. Like, I proofread it, but I hadn't had my coffee yet. There's like 2 or 3 not misspelling. I omitted words altogether. And I'm thinking, this lady's going to think I'm a complete a-hole. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I can't even put 2 in there. T-O. Like, I missed 2. I still sent it to her. Right? But it is what it is. So the good news is Chelsea Wiley is safe. She's alive. And I truly believe, thanks to all the creators that brought her up, put her name on social media, really advocated for this woman. I know it was a lot of work. And listen, not a whole lot of people picked up on this. Definitely, it wasn't a mainstream media type of thing, even though there was, I think it was News Nation that may have done just a small little story on it. So God bless them. Again, the reason why I like Brian Entin so much is because I trust him. Not trust him in the sense that I trust him to be nice to me. It's not that. It's I know his work. I know his work and I know how thorough he is. That's why I trust. Whenever he says something, I trust it. If it comes out of Ashley Banfield's mouth, not so much. But if it's corroborated by Brian Entin, I'm down like 4 flat tires. I truly am. I truly am. So that's where the love triangle comes in, because I don't even know who Kathleen is from Vanity Fair. I could really care less. So obviously she has her tinge for me, and she even brought up that the thumbnail where she acts like we didn't talk about nothing but facts through the Idaho 4. Which we've only covered facts. We talked about the press releases literally every day. We stayed on the press releases, and she brings up the fact that I had a thumbnail that said, "Dylan, why didn't you save me?" with the Dylan and the Zana thumbnail, and it's like, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I could care less whether you're offended by that thumbnail or not. But we have a lot of questions as to why she heard screams in her home and calls all the roommates, but doesn't bother calling law enforcement. How she can see a masked intruder in her house and give him an 8-hour lead head start because she refused to call law enforcement. That's not my fault, but that is the facts of the case. The facts, not some conspiracy theory, Kathleen, so that you know. Don't be all jelly over me. I get a lot of people so jealous. I get it. I travel the country, I cover these cases, and I pull views from other people. I get it. It sucks. But you know what? They do it to me too. And guess what? I got to deal with it, right? I got to deal with it. It is what it is. Good morning, beautiful friends. And Andrea, check your messenger later when you have time. Got to go on way to doctors. Well, good luck with the doctors. I hope you get some good news. I hope they take those staples out. I hope you can start dancing in the midnight, right? I want you dancing. I want you on your feet. Thank you and God bless. And we'll be praying for you to have great news from the doctor. Everybody throw some prayer hands up in the chat for Miss Jennifer L. and everyone else struggling at this moment, because we haven't, we've got Emma, sepsis kills, that's, hasn't been feeling well. We got Ronnie. Ronnie hasn't been here in a while. I hear she's not feeling too hot lately. So we just want a big shout out to all the people that are struggling in this chat and all the people that are just having a great day. God bless each and every one of you. I'm definitely controversial. You know what? If you are offended easily, this is probably not your channel. Kathleen, you probably wouldn't last a day over here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. I'm just saying. But I'm willing to talk to you. I'm willing to clear up any misinformation you may have about Bullhorn Betty. I'm happy to do so. So, and I have a funny feeling when it comes down to it, it's going to be something really stupid. Really, really stupid. But getting on with everything, here she is, just for everybody to know. She has been found. She's been found safe. Thank God. This could have went really bad. We know the boyfriend story. I didn't say it, yesterday, because I'm trying to be, I'm trying to make sure that the rhetoric here online is tampered down. And no, I didn't need a Vanity Fair article to do it, because I really think it's unfair. I really think it's unfair. Even the stuff, like, I don't mind talking about, and we even opened up the chat going through this Idaho 4 for Kylie Rodney and the Idaho 4, so you guys could vent your thoughts in here without taking them to them, because that was the worst thing that can happen, is reaching out to the people, especially when we don't really have a whole lot of information to point a finger at any one person. I mean, look at all the time people did by pointing fingers at Jack Showalter and Jack D and Jake and all that, and none of them had anything to do with this, yet they were getting death threats. Those are the types of things that I don't like seeing on here. I think that's just going entirely overboard, in my opinion. It just is. But she's been found. We don't know what she's doing, but we do know she's had past drug history. So there may be more there as to why she disappeared. Potentially. I don't want to say anything negative about her, but we know that there were other things going on in her life. So she was found. Her boyfriend did not hurt her. And I got to say, my commentary was going to be much different on this case today had she not been found yesterday. Because here's what. I had an opportunity to listen to the interview that T-Rev had with the mom. And it really kind of changed my entire perspective on what may have happened to this young girl. So we were going to be diving a lot deeper into Paul's background to find out, because we did hear that there was that they did have physical altercations. We know that there is a history of drugs. So what do we always talk about on here? We talk about the secret ingredients to have these types of things. And what are the secret ingredients? Drugs, alcohol, violence, or a combination of them, or all three. But those are the three secret ingredients to make a despicable person, a nice person, despicable, right? These are people that wouldn't normally do what they've done had it not been for one of the three items I just listed, a combination of them, or all. Period. 90% of the parents that are in jail for doing things to their children, whether it's abusing them, killing them, or a number of other things that can be done, But there is a secret ingredient on that too. Guess what that is? Drugs, alcohol, and violence. A combination of them or all three. That's the secret ingredient. In any case that we cover, typically those are the secret ingredients. So we're very thankful that she's home. We know that there was violence in the house and everything like that. So here it is, the Vanity Fair article. We're going to bypass this and we're going to come back to this because we're going to read it and you're going to hear the disdain Kathleen Hale has for Bullhorn Betty, even though the person that she was interviewing does not possess those same viewpoints, her viewpoints. The reason why she's able to write this article is the power and the freedom of press, just like the same laws that allow me to be on here speaking to each and every one of you anytime, anywhere, how I choose and how I see fit. Right? So we'll see. We'll see. We're going to come back to this article. Nobody probably even knows who Kathleen Moore is or Kathleen Hale is. I mean, maybe some people in her, place, but think about it. If I came up here and said, "Oh, Kathleen Hale," she wrote an article, people would be in here saying, "Who's Kathleen Hale?" Nobody knows who she is, but you know who Bullhorn Betty is, right? Marissa and I were actually talking when I was up in Pennsylvania, and she's like, we're all sucked into this YouTube, and everybody thinks everybody knows everybody. But I guarantee you walk down my road and you say, Molly, go lightly, people are going to be looking at you saying, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I understand that. YouTube is a life of its own. But here, you go down my streets and you say Bullhorn Betty or Andrew Griffin, people know who I am in my own county because I'm involved. I'm heavily involved in my county. So I get the county, exposure. I get the national exposure. I get the global exposure. I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine, Kathleen. I'm doing just fine over here. Good news here in the Gonzalez information. Let's see if I can blow this up so all you guys can see it. Let me pull myself down. Here we go. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to try to get this larger for you guys. There we go. Can you guys see that? See if I can get it any bigger. Okay, that's about as big as I can get it, but at least you guys can read it. And this is a statement from the Gonzalez family. The family wanted to make a brief statement to the media regarding some of the issues surrounding the case and wanted to let everyone know that all communications still need to come through my office. I apologize if I missed anyone's email. The Gonzalez family would first like to thank the media for continued coverage of the case. It is important to keep this story alive to make sure the story of the 4 victims in this case are remembered. It is clear from the newly released memo by Judge Marshall in the matter that she does not believe that the gag non-dissemination order applies to the victim's family. Only through the hard work of our attorney were we able to get the clarification that was needed. Our attorney, Mr. Gray, has been informed through a public filing notice regarding hearing date on motion to appeal, amend, and or clarify amended non-dissemination order that Judge Marshall will not provide a hearing or address other issues raised in the motion until the Idaho Supreme Court makes a decision in the Associated Press et al. Versus the Second Judicial District of the State of Idaho, County of Latah, Honorable Megan Marshall, docket number 50482-2023. So I wanted to make sure that you guys got to see that his attorney is working, and they are, it appears that the gag order is not going to be applied to the Gonzalez family. So we're going to be able to start getting some information from the Gonzalez family in the near future about their, about this case, about their daughter, what they know. I mean, at the end of the day, we have had the, First Amendment, freedom of speech and freedom of press since the birth of our country. So we've also had a justice system of sorts. So we have been navigating this freedom of speech and freedom of press with judicial processes for hundreds of years. This case is not, granted, I got to be cautious because I'm trying to express this case isn't special in so much so that it's not above any other case that this country has ever dealt with, public-wise or otherwise. So the idea that for whatever reason that this man can't have a fair trial because the press is covering it is ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. Good morning, Emma Lou. Nice to see you, Linda Lou. I know. You and me both. I'm still not sure how we're going to handle that trial. I depending on the budget, I want to go out there. I want to go out to Idaho, not just for this case, but for the Daybell case. I have not followed the Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow case, but it does appear to be a very interesting case. Lots of interesting stuff going in Idaho, and it's a little scary. Do you feel like you're qualified to report on this? The public opinion absolutely plays a part in the trial. Again, it's no consequence to me. I follow the law. Whether it offends somebody or not, it's not my problem. That's their problem. I follow the law. And yes, I am absolutely qualified to report on any criminal case. Absolutely. I have more knowledge of the law than half the reporters that are reporting on these cases. So yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, if me covering a case offends somebody, that's their problem, not mine. Okay, if they don't like it, they have the choice for themselves. Just like I have the choice to come on here every single morning from 6:30 to 8:30 and do my show. That is my choice. I don't have to. I choose to. And nobody can take that choice from me because it's mine to have. It's your choice whether or not you want to watch it. It's your choice whether you come on here and listen to it. That's your choice. And your choice has no bearing on me. It's not like I'm going to go to your house and force you to watch the Bullhorn Betty channel. Whoever's here right now, the 372 people in this chat are choosing to be here and to watch this. That's their choice. And who are you to take that choice away from them? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I absolutely have all the qualifications. And tell me what part of the Constitution says that I can't do that? What part of freedom of press says I can't be part of the press? Tell me what qualifications the Constitution puts on the press. Do I have to have a degree in journalism? No. No, I don't. Do I have to go to ABC News to get credentialed? No, I don't. You know what makes me report the news? Me saying, hey, I'm reporting the news. That's all that's required for freedom of press. That's it. That's it. And if you don't believe me, prove me wrong. But I guarantee you can't, because I know the law. And when it comes to criminal cases and guiding through some of these things, yes, absolutely qualified. Absolutely 100% qualified. So this was interesting. And this came from, Jennifer Coffendorfer. And it goes over to the family's decision. And of course, I understand when it comes to law enforcement wants to preserve the case. They want everybody just to stay out of it so they can do their job. I get that. But at the end of the day, we have laws that prevent them from doing that. Yeah. It's public. It's public information. We as the public have every right to it. So if we have every right to it, why are we being chastised for taking that right? Right? If I'm told, hey, this is information that you're entitled to, why would I turn my back and walk away and say, I don't want it? I'll pass. Okay. So confirmed this fact as we wait for the Idaho Supreme Court decision. I truly believe the non-disclosure order should stay in place. I know I'm part of the media, but I'm retired FBI. This is a no-brainer. Only parties to the case are gagged. Only thoughts are on justice. I believe in justice too. But I also believe in our laws, and our laws are set up for a reason. And you know why our laws are set up? Why freedom of press has freedom of press? Is so people can't sit there and force us to say what they want us to say. That is the whole purpose of freedom of press, is that we're not required to regurgitate what somebody tells us that we need to say to the public. We're able to come out here and tell you guys the truth, what we find. There are so many remedies for a fair trial that covering a case does not preclude them from having a fair trial. Look at Alec Murdaugh. Not only did he have a fair trial, he was able to have his trial in the very county he was arrested in. And it had national spotlights all over it. And he was able to have a fair trial. So this idea, this illusion that they're telling the public, oh, we can't have a fair trial if people are following this case and people are reporting on this case. That's what the press does. Listen, law enforcement, whether you believe we have a right to be in these cases or not, we do. And I will. And if it offends people, oh well. Oh well. Won't be the first time I offend somebody. Won't be the last time I offend somebody. Oh well. It is what it is. So I do get it. And she's like, only the parties. Like, I don't think that the prosecution or the defense counsel should be tipping the scales of justice in the favor or against the favor of one or the other. You know, I agree with that. But Judge Marshall's order was so broad. It's so overly broad and so vague that people didn't understand what was being said in that. There's a problem with the order. There's not a problem with Bullhorn Betty or the 30 news organizations that are taking this to the Supreme Court to get better clarification, because we're doubting whether this judge has the foresight to realize she's violating people's rights in an effort to preserve somebody else's rights. You can't do that. So I'm not too confident. And I say it, and I could be wrong. I'm not from Idaho. I don't study Idaho law fluently like I do Florida law. So there is a possibility, but I honestly don't think this is going to pass legal muster up in the higher courts, because there's so many less restrictive remedies available to this court. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, I'm good with the attorneys not speaking. I'm fine with that. But when you start hindering the public and hindering the rights to freedom of press, I've got a problem with that, because now you're getting into constitutional arguments and constitutional issues, and I take issue with that. Our Constitution is not our guidelines. Our Constitution is our government's guidelines. And I just want to make sure that that is very clear. That's our government's guidelines, not ours. They would like you to think that that's our guidelines. It's not. That's theirs. It's theirs. So don't be violating Bullhorn Betty's rights or anybody else's, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I want justice here on this channel. Every person in this chat wants justice here on this channel. Us talking about these cases is not precluding justice to be had, period. Just isn't happening. So, getting to Zana Kernodle. Many of you guys may or may not know that Zana Kernodle's mother, Kara Kernodle, was extradited back to Idaho because she never went to a court hearing. She was complaining about this, that, or the other. She's been on this tirade of drug use and living out of her car and not really having a real good connection with Zana before she was murdered. And so she's saying that she's living an effing nightmare. The jailed mom of the slain University of Idaho students. Listen, Kara, there's no other place for you to be right now but jail. That is the only place that we know that you're going to survive, because her lifestyle that she had out on the streets was glutton for death. She would die if she stayed out on that street any longer. So I think her daughter is looking out for her, and whether she's living a nightmare or not, she is lucky to be alive. And I'm happy that she's in jail. Do I believe she's going to, when she walks out, she's not going to go right back to the same crap? I don't know if she's going to or not. Oh, hey, Tammy, nice to see you, love. I don't know, but I do believe that she is so addicted that as soon as she walks out of jail, she's going to be right back in the place I've seen it before. I feel super, super bad for her. Her daughter looked a lot like her. Let's put that down. Sorry, it pops up on me. Looks a lot like her. You don't realize, because her mom has been so, when she's been on Ashley Banfield, she's been so ill, and you could just see that she has no, she's skin and bones. So she looks much healthier here in this photo of herself with her daughter. And you can kind of see the resemblance between mom and daughter. And it's sad. I have to be honest with you. This is sad. I wish Kara, didn't live the lifestyle that she lived. I wish that she was more involved in her daughter's life. But that's something that she's going to have to deal with literally the rest of the time that she walks this earth. She's going to have to deal with that. And it's hard. And she's probably going to punish herself over and over again because that's what addicts do. It really is. I do hope she finds peace in all of this. I do hope she finds recovery. I hope she knows that she's worth it, that, her mistakes do not define her. And I hope she lives in her daughter's honor. I hope she gets sober in her daughter's honor. I hope she starts living right in her daughter's honor. But that's a decision that only Kara Kernodle can make for herself. Nobody can force that down her. Nobody. So, I hope that she does get better. So we'll pop in here and see what this has on here just to see. And it says, the mother of the slain University of Idaho student said her daughter's murder last year triggered the drug relapse, which led her to her arrest. So, there you have it. And I believe it, because something like this, if you're an addict and you're struggling and you're not going to your meetings and stuff, and something like this hits you, it's very, very, very easy to just want to hide that severe pain. And you go to the thing that, if you're an alcoholic, you go to alcohol. If you're a drug addict, you go to your drug of choice. And so I can identify that, that could be the reason, and probably is. Kara Northington, 43, told the Daily Mail she was sober prior to November 13th slaying of her daughter, Zana Kernodle. Less than a week after Kernodle's murder, Northington was arrested in Idaho for felony drug possession. Northington explained to the Daily Mail she was released in December so she could attend the memorial for her daughter, but she fled instead of returning to custody. I relapsed after my daughter's killing. Then 4 days after that, I picked up new charges, and then I didn't go to my next court date because I was still getting high, she said. The Daily Mail reported that Northington went to Spokane, Washington, where she allegedly used fent and meth in a hotel room. She was eventually apprehended, captured, and taken into Kootenai County jail, where she's been housed since late February. Suspect Brian Koberger, the PhD criminal justice major or student at Washington State University, is believed to have carried out the November 13th attack. So you kind of get a little insight on Kara Kernodle and what happened. And I said that, when she was arrested, we talked about that very thing, the drug use and her probably relapsing over the fact that her daughter was killed. And is Oki in here? I just saw it. Oki, good morning. Good morning, Oki. Boomer girl, it's nice to see you. Kyle Rittenhouse is a perfect example of the media versus the truth coming out in the court of law. Absolutely. And it's crap like that. Like, they're blaming social media for stuff. There are conspiracy theorists on here. There are people that revel in mistruths, misunderstandings, flat out lies. But you can't paint a broad brush and say every social media influencer is out here, speaking crap that doesn't exist. I mean, couldn't be further from the truth. And it really shows the small minds of people like Kathleen Hale that believe that as truth. And yes, and it's stuff like that people stop believing. In all fairness, they stop believing in mainstream media to give them the truth. Because while they're sitting there taking their cues from law enforcement, there's nothing that states that I've got to listen to a police officer tell me what I can say on my channel. It's a respect thing. And I'm sorry, but I don't know you like that to respect you like that. It's pretty simple. You come to me and say, hey, this is important information. We know you have it, but we'd really like to keep that out of the limelight because of this. You know what? I would respect that, and I would keep that out. And not only that, when we had all that information about Summer Wells and all those interviews, we didn't run right to social media and broadcast them up. We sent that over to law enforcement. We did our due diligence, and we did the right thing. And we will continue to do that. We'll continue to do that. But people just don't trust the media anymore. Mainstream media is not trusted. That's not my fault. It's not my fault that we have 423 people in this chat right now because they don't want to watch the news. That's not my fault. Kathleen Hale, not my fault. Getting on to Leilani Simon. This is from Brett Buffington. Kudos to Brett again. Brett, I've only met a handful of times. Nice guy, personally. I personally like Brett Buffington, but here's why. And it's not because he's been all warm and fuzzy, right? I like him because he was really, truly an investigative journalist. When we found Leilani at that hotel and her mom from the partying, when Dolly and I showed up there was only one news reporter out there as well, because he's an investigative journalist. And guess who it was? It was Brett Buffington. Out of all the media that they have in Chatham County, he was the only one that was doing his damn job and following and tracking down leads. He was out front of the very hotel that Dolly and I rolled up on, right? Now, how can a non-reporter, somebody not qualified to report on anything, right? How can somebody not qualified to report on anything be right up there with investigative journalists from news organizations? Because the haters are trying to make you believe that somebody like me cannot do the job like them. I beg to differ. Kudos to all the content creators out there on social media, the ones that really do their job, that respect the job, that come here each and every day and do what is necessary to get the stories out. God bless you. God bless you. We're going to go back to the Vanity Fair. Going to go back to the Vanity Fair. This is, I don't know, you guys know I covered the Madalina Cojocari case when I was in North Carolina. And I don't understand how. And I even did this whole thing like, mommy, why aren't you helping me? Probably another thing Kathleen could have thrown in that article, right? K9 detects necrotic in Cojocari's car. This is not good, guys. Necrotic means dead. If you guys don't know what that word means, when you have something necrotic, it means it's dying. So we're going to listen to this because it breaks my heart. I knew something bad was happening when you got mom and dad in jail. Dad took off on our stepdad took off on a trip to this place or that place. It does, it does cause problems. Let me see if I can open this up a little bit bigger. There we go. I like that. There we go. So you guys can read. I like you guys reading along. Hold on a second. Let me see. Tammy, we'll look for that. We'll look for that. Sonia just sent me and said, can you ask Betty if she can get the warrant February 2023 on Madalina's mom? Does a drug investigation going more important than missing child? I'll have to look into that. What do we have here? Okay, nice to see you, Lovebug. You do so much for victims' voices. I respect you more than any other creator. Keep doing the job. Thank you. Thank you, Lovebug. Thank you so much. Miss Lee, mom of three. Mainstream media only spreads lies. Did you see the USA Today article that says AM didn't get the death penalty because he's white and rich? It's ridiculous. They're doing their own damage. I mean, when you start, I would never write something like that. Period. Because I don't know if it's true. Could it be because he's white and rich? It's possible. But who determines that? It's absolutely undeterminable. Anyways, the mother of 11-year-old Madalina Cojocari discussed smuggling her and her daughter from the Cornelius home before when the girl's disappearance was reported, according to the warrant obtained Wednesday by Queen City News. The warrant revealed that the distant relative of Diana Cojocari told police that she had asked him for help smuggling her and Madalina away from their home because of her stormy relationship with the girl's stepfather, Christopher. I told you there was abuse in that home. I told you. I knew that when I went there. OMG. When I went there and I did the stuff, we did some lives on this, and I said, there's red flags. Mom doesn't come out of the house. The girl cannot walk that neighborhood without her stepfather in tow. I told you that is not normal, that there's red flags there. I know domestic violence. I know the progression of domestic violence. And I told you guys that there had to be, without a question, abuse going on in that home. And this right here confirms that very abuse that we reported on this channel, that misrepresented information that we reported on this channel, Kathleen Hale. Every time I hear Kathleen, all my Kathleens in my audience, I love you guys to death, but now I'm going to have a sour taste in my mouth every time I have to say it. But what I tell you, I told you guys. I told you guys. Phone records obtained by law enforcement showed the relative and the mother had extensive contact, including multiple calls to unidentified individuals involved in drug trafficking. Persons involved in drug trafficking are also associated with human trafficking, the warrant stated. It was unclear who made the phone calls to the suspected drug traffickers. This is insane. I think this is what you were talking about, Tammy. This is insane. Let me make sure that, let me reread that. See what you were talking about. Can you ask that? Yeah, so we're going through that right now. So Tammy Crimes, we're going through that. Now my question is how did this lady not know all you had to do was walk out? When the husband's at work, walk out. Everybody out there that's watching this is in an abusive relationship. You have choices. We talked about those very choices just a few minutes ago, about my choice to come on here and somebody else's choice to watch, right? Those are choices we individually have to make. If you are being abused and you are having a stormy relationship and you're tired of being abused mentally, physically, or otherwise, you do not have to call smugglers to get you out of the house. All you have to do is walk away. Don't answer the phone when he calls you. Go to someplace safe. I don't care if you go with nothing. I don't care if you are a multi-millionaire. It's not worth your life. If you had to walk out and start all over again, that's what you got to do. That's your path. That's your path. God knows I've had to do it several times. I can tell you, me personally, I will never let a person get close enough to put their hands on me in a violent way again. If so, I might catch another charge and have to go in front of a judge and explain that it was self-defense yet again. I don't care. If that's the path I need to walk down, that's the path I got to walk down. But nobody will ever put their hands on me in a violent way ever again. Not unless they want to pick their ass up off the floor. That's how I roll. People have a problem with it. It's not your problem, not mine. Nobody will ever put their hands on me. Period. But it took me a long time to get there. For those folks out there, you know, I didn't just wake up one day and say, hey, this is what I'm going to be and this is how it's going to be. It took a lot of beatings that I had to undergo before I said, you know what? I don't deserve this. You will not put your hands on me again. If you do, we're going to have big problems. And you guys need to do that yourself. She does not need a smuggler. All she needed to do is have a backbone and walk out. And I know sometimes growing a backbone's hard. I get it. I lived it. I walked through it. I get it. But I didn't call smugglers to get me out. I changed my phone number and ran back home to my parents. One or the other. That's how I dealt with it. And if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. Don't let your ego get in the way of your safety. According to the warrant, a K-9 alerted law enforcement to possible necrotic inside the green Toyota Prius, which allowed officials to execute another warrant for the home February 15th. It is unclear now if the necrotic were actually located, or the narcotics. And is it narcotic? Not narcotics. Sorry, I'm reading this all wrong. Hold on a second. Let me go back. Drug traffickers associated. So are they trying to say that they were drug traffickers to boot? Is that what I'm reading here? So according to the warrant, K-9 alerted law enforcement of possible narcotics inside of the green Toyota Prius, which allowed officials to execute another warrant for the home. And it's unclear whether narcotics were located in there. I thought it said necrotic, but I guess not. I'm dyslexic and put my C in front of my R instead of my R in front of my C. According to the district attorney's office, a grand jury indicted the mother and the stepfather on the missing 11-year-old Cornelius girl, Madalina Cojocari, for failing to report the child's disappearance. This kind of gives me a whole new vibe about this missing girl, especially if they're already involved in human trafficking and smuggling drugs and stuff like this. If this is true, this girl could very well be alive in somewhere else, doing God knows what. But her mother and stepfather, Chris Palmater, reported that they said last saw Madalina on November 23rd. According to Mecklenburg County warrant obtained by Queen City News, Diana Cojocari and Palmater had an argument on November 23rd. During the argument, Madalina went into her room to go to bed around 10 p.m. Palmater then decided to drive to Michigan, where he and his family, where he has family, to pick up items. Who does that at night? I mean, unless you're going somewhere. Like, I'll ride at 2 o'clock in the morning when I leave. According to 11:30 a.m. the following day, Cojocari went into Madalina's room to check on her, and Madalina was gone. Palmater was told about Madalina's disappearance 3 days later, records show, and Cojocari said she waited until December 15th to report her disappearance because she was worried about how it would affect her relationship with her husband. If you guys want to know what not to do, that is exactly what not to do. Your children should be supreme to a man, especially a man that ain't even the child's father. Your children should always, always, always come first. Screw the relationship. Screw the divorce. Investigators also said they were seeking first-hand eyewitnesses that may have seen Diana Cojocari or the Toyota Prius in Madison County area near Asheville between the dates when the girl was last seen and when she was reported missing 3 weeks later. If you have any questions. So it sounds like this family, according to now I'm like really interested in this story. Now you got narcotics, smuggling, human trafficking. Like, what? And it makes me feel differently about this case knowing that. Does it, by a show of hands, does this make, now that we're hearing drug smugglers, it's smuggling, doesn't this give us a new way of thinking about this very case? Put a 1 in the chat if now that we're hearing about this smuggling operation, if it changes our dynamic on how we feel about this case. For me, it does. Because for one small minute, I feel like there's hope that this child is alive. Whereas prior to this report, I believe this child is dead. I still in the back of my mind believe that there is something more here than the whole smuggling thing. So now we're finding out that this family was most likely involved in drugs and that kind of stuff. I'm curious. I looked at that Christopher and I could tell in his face he looked pure evil. Good morning, Kathy. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. One, this case and others. Yeah. Sorry, where are they from? Okay, so this is in North Carolina, and I can't remember where I went in North Carolina. Cornelius, that's right. Cornelius, North Carolina. It was a small, cute town, too. It was a small, cute town. Oh, oh, I think I hit one too many. Hold on a second. There we go. What was this one about? Oh, this is just a missing child one here. She's missing. If you guys have seen her, her name is Kaylee Greenwell. Kaylee Greenwell. So I pulled that up so you guys could take a look at her face. If you guys have seen her, I don't even know what area, Kentucky. She's missing from Kentucky. I really don't do teenagers because I know that they run away a lot. So I wait usually a week or two before I get involved in anything that's above, like 13 or 14. And that's why it took me a little while to get on the thing with Shelby or Chelsea Wiley, is because it's one of those things where I kind of wait to see where the case goes, to see where if they pop up, because we do a lot of work when we get a case, and many people don't realize how much work we do. I mean, we're firing off record requests. We're already starting to work on a timeline. We're reaching out to people that may know anybody. We're just doing a lot of work behind the scenes, pulling, background and history information on the people in the household. There's a lot of work that goes behind it. So you don't want to waste your energy on something for a runaway child when the child is with friends or something like that. It sounds heartless. I get it, but it's a lot of work when teenagers just, because I was a teenager once too. I ran away all the time. My mom comes on here all the time and tells you guys, how proud of me she is, because how I changed my entire life. So it's, but we do want to still advocate. We still definitely want to put their faces up because they still need to be brought home to their family. So here is one of the girls. Again, her name is Kaylee Greenwell. And her family said she slipped out of the home, no money, no clothes. And the family's missing their loved ones. So if you guys have seen her anywhere in this country, but she's from Kentucky, please reach out to law enforcement and let them know. I really greatly appreciate that. And then we'll get on to Vallow. I think I'm going to do a video later today on Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, as opposed to covering it here. So now that everything that we've all been waiting for, it's me debuting in not the best light. Not the best light, right? So I'm not going to read the entire article, but the article is about basically Brian Entin. But there is, and actually it's not really about Brian Entin. It starts off with Mark Trevel piece. I can't even remember. I can't even pronounce his name necessarily correctly. But this is the owner of the Corner Club. He has a disdain in his blood for media, for social media. He's just an angry dude, right? He's just an angry dude. And you know what? He keeps blaming everybody else. Nobody did this to that community. The only person responsible for what happened is Brian Kohberger. And that's if he is convicted of this crime. Right now, I do believe in the law. I do believe that they have the right person arrested. But again, Corner Club owner has a disdain for Fox News, media, and social media. Well, you know what? I don't know what to say, but you own a bar. I'd say drink a little bit more. It'll probably be a little more palatable for people like me in your area. And this is not going away soon. So you're going to have to be accepted, accept the fact that we're there, accept the fact we have a right to be there, accept the fact that we do, even Olivia and I brought money to that bar. We didn't bother anybody while we were there. We just sat there and had our drink and just, sit and chit chat. Nothing wrong with that. So we put money in your pocket there, Mark, just a FYI. And your bar doesn't seem like it's completely, utterly packed. So you might want to not be running off the little bit of business you do have, just FYI. But there was parts in here, and I wanted to, let me see if I can do it. Hold on. There we are. Do the old search. So we'll go up just a little bit to right about here. Moments later, when he was on the air, recapping the crime for anyone just tuning in, a nightmare for this town, a nightmare they just cannot wake up from. Entin, Idaho murder mystery special report contained exclusive interviews and one shocking detail. Gonzalez's injuries were significantly more brutal than Mogan's. In the absence of any new updates from police, sleuths took off running with what Entin had offered. Internet sleuths are on the case, Entin said in his special. We're talking about the armchair detectives, people who sift through social media for any possible clues. And in the vacuum of information from Mascow police, their voices are louder than ever. Web sleuth earned the moniker in 1999 on a site by the same name, but their movements arguably reached a pinnacle during the 2010-2012 crime at the center of Don't F with Cats docu-series about an online manhunt for Luca Magnotta, who posted videos of himself killing cats before he graduated to homicide. In that case, sleuths succeeded where police had failed, bolstering their reputation as capable detectives. According to media scholars, historical examples such as Magnotta helped to fuel a fantasy. This is their opinion, guys, just to let you know. Further energizing by the rise of participatory media culture. That audience members are viewers with a job to do. Since then, crime reporters have been in competition with a new breed of paparazzi. So paparazzo, because your reporters now have to compete. We are the paparazzo, right? Right? So if you have to compete with us, then isn't that what you're calling your own news reporters? Just a thought. While reporting on the Petito from her killer's lawn, Entin found himself shoulder to shoulder with vigilante. Listen to this. Vigilante civilians. Excuse me, I'm not a vigilante civilian. I'm a protester, Kathleen. But see, if you had any kind of integrity in your reporting, you would have reached out to me. I would have corrected you. So vigilante civilians and social media influencers. So maybe she's not calling me. This is the vigilante civilian because she's now following and social media influencers like Bullhorn Betty, who would later upload 3 videos about one of the Mascow victim's surviving roommate, featuring thumbnails of images of Zana Kernodle's face with the words, "Why didn't you save me?" Well, it was a legit question, right? It was a legit question. Like many sleuths, Betty's methods seem unscrupulous. She reports rumors and perpetrates harassment of innocent people. Never, not once. Your facts are flawed, lady. Your facts are flawed. First of all, never once reported rumors. We discussed them on here because they're floating about, but never reported them. We keep to the facts. We keep to the facts on this channel. And the harassment of innocent people, not one person that I protested in front of have ever been innocent. Summer Wells' family, not innocent. Leilani Simon, not innocent. Gabby Petito, again, parents are going to court for exactly what we were saying in the front lawn, lady. Get it through your thick skull. You're talking about rumors and perpetrating harassment of innocent people. Isn't this exactly what you're doing, Kathleen Hale? So again, my clippers, my haters out there on YouTube, I'm giving you some pay dirt here. Right? But the bad news is you guys are too stupid to find this stuff yourself. So I'm reporting your news so you can clip me talking about me because you guys are too weak with no backbones. I'm talking to all you haters and jellyfish out there. You can't do the work we do, even when trying to find stuff to insult me with, right? So now I'm giving you your news so you can now insult me with the work I've already done for myself. Thank you. You're welcome. But for practical reasons, Entin has needed to find a way to coexist with people like her. Excuse me, let me tell you something, Kathleen. He doesn't coexist with me. I actually know him. He's a nice guy. And you know what? At the end of the day, I'm a nice girl. And you know, when we're out there, it's like no different than any other reporter. If he needs to get a shot, I move out of his way. If I need to get a shot, he moves out of mine. That's how it works in the real world, lady. But you're behind a computer in an office and probably have never investigated a crime in your life, never been boots on the ground in your life. You're stuck away in that little hot hole that you type in. Just stay where you're at. He told a practical reason he needed to find a way to exist with people like her. I just want to get my job done every day. And he does a great job at getting his job done every day. He refuses to speak ill of Betty. In part, he jokes because I don't want her showing up to my house with a bullhorn. Love you, Brian. Love you, Brian. You know, acknowledging I might know where you live might cause rumors to spread about. You might want to be careful. More seriously, Entin said it's not up to him whether sleuths have earned their place among trained reporters. The reality is that our digital ecosystem elevates the voices of specialists and enthusiasts alike. At the end of the day, they're still going to be here, he said, and I'm still going to be here. So God bless you, Brian Entin, for, again, you guys understand why I love Brian Entin. He has integrity. He has character. He has class. This is the reason why I speak so highly of Brian Entin, because even when somebody's wanting to make a story to demean somebody he knows, like he spent weeks out there with me, just like I spent weeks out there with him, you know, we kind of get to know who each other are. He knows I'm not a bad guy, you know, and actually, quite frankly, when we have an opportunity to help one another, we will. And it's not because he's Brian Entin. It's just what you do when you're out there covering a case. You know, sometimes you got to duck. So, you know, you don't want to take the place. Like if somebody needs to take a photo, now that jackass in that orange jacket, you ever step on my toes again, you ever tell me you're going to push me out of the way, like I told you once before, and I'll tell you again, you touch me or my stuff, you're going to jail, buddy. So as long as you're respectful to me, I will show you the most respect you could ever have. I'll be the nicest friend out there. But you step on my toes, you're rude to me or not honorable in my presence, I will cut you slap down to size. I don't give a rat's ass who you are. And you guys know damn well the guy in the orange puffy jacket got to have a word from Bullhorn Betty. But I guarantee you, the rest of the time I was in Idaho, he knew his place. He knew his place real quick. You don't mess with me. You don't come over here and intimidate me. I'm not the one that's intimidated easily. If you knew what my life is and the big burly guys that I got smacked around with, honey, you're nothing. I'd blow on you. You'd fall over. You ain't got nothing. Absolutely nothing. So again, I made it into Vanity Fair. The love-hate relationship between Bullhorn Betty and Vanity Fair and the love triangle brought about by Brian. Come on, you guys got to know that was some funny stuff. That's some funny stuff. Brian Entin said, I don't want Bullhorn Betty showing up with a bullhorn. You're a smart man, Brian Entin. Smart man, my friend. Smart man. But anyways, I know he didn't have to do that. He could have slammed me if he so chose to. He chose not to. So God bless him for that. And again, that's exactly why I love and respect Brian Entin. He would never say, it didn't matter if he was talking about somebody he disliked. Totally, absolutely, 100% disliked. He's just a very genuine person. And he doesn't say, he's just not a nasty guy. He doesn't say mean stuff. He's, you know, he keeps his, I like him. I don't boy, that just it wasn't froze. My internet dropped completely. It just went boom. I'm like, okay, so Verizon, I just started with you. You know, I never had my stuff drop except when my computer was dropping me. I'm gonna start having live streams drop from me using Verizon. Me and Verizon need to have a phone call conversation. Don't want that happening. But they are putting new lines in, so occasionally they have to disconnect as they hook another house up. So I expect that this will probably happen as new people start using the service. Verizon Fios was never around here. They just started installing it around here. Oh, and I got my hair done. Have you guys noticed? Remember I told you I'm going to start doing something a little different with my hair. So I'm not doing some radical crazy stuff with my hair just yet. I'm actually stepping into it because I really want, I love my blonde. I love my original Bullhorn Betty blonde. It was it's kind of like Pink's hair. You know, Pink has a certain color. Bullhorn Betty had a certain color. Whether the haters liked it or not, it is what it is. It was my signature color. Well, now I never had a hair color last that long. Like I usually am always bouncing with different hair colors. I've been burgundy, I've been brunette, I've been blonde, I've been, you know, calico with blonde, you know, the highlights, the lowlights, and everything else like that in my hair. And it's like now I want to start getting some color back into it, just for the simple fact I personally want that. And I had just had my hair done and had it just bleached a few weeks ago and got it cut. And then I'm thinking, and I talked to you guys about how I wanted to darken the hair up a little bit. But the problem is I'm so used to the blonde, it's hard for me to start going a little bolder, because even my hairdresser's like, well, do you want to go bold? And I'm like, yes, I do. I want to go bolder. Like I want to put black low lights in my hair as opposed to like a dirty blonde. But I knew that would be too drastic, and I was scared that I would not like it. So I'm bringing the color in a little by slow, so I personally can adjust to it, because I'm having heart palpitations that I'm actually considering losing my blonde hair. I'm not going to go back to my dark hair. It's never going to happen. But I probably will have some stronger low lights in my hair, just because. I've had this, that I would have changed it actually a lot sooner. But, you know, at the end of the day, it was when people saw me, they knew that I was there because of my blonde hair. I like that. You know, I don't even have to throw a fit. I just got to step out of the car and I'm like, oh shit, Bullhorn Betty, right? Come on, it's funny. It's funny. Admit it. It's funny. It's funny. So those that were not here when we turned this live on, I want you guys to hear something, because I still think everybody needs to hear it. And I played it as part of my intro coming in, but I love it so much. And I love my beautiful people here on YouTube. I want to make sure I play it so everybody at home gets to hear it as well. We have 533 people in the chat right now, and you guys didn't get to see this coming in this morning. So I want you guys to hear this. It's very powerful.
I have a question for you. If you woke up this Friday morning and you looked in your bank account and there was $10,080 magically there, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. But the only stipulation is you have to spend it all in 1 week and it'll be gone. And then the following week, you'll get another $10,080 deposited, and so on and so on. You can spend it however you want. Or if you don't spend it, it disappears. Would you spend every cent every week, or would you allow it to be wasted and taken away from you? Well, guys, this Friday, you're going to wake up and there's going to be 10,080 minutes that God has given you for the next week. And you can spend them however you want, or you can simply waste them. Guys, I highly suggest that you spend every minute of next week doing amazing things, and don't allow 1 minute to be squandered, because you never know when God won't deposit another 10,080 minutes in your life, guys. Go out and live a great life.
What a great message. What a great message. And I definitely, you guys know, I'm always hinting on, you know, get those good points banked up in your karma bank, right? Always be doing good. If you can help a perfect stranger, do it. If you have the ability to help somebody, do it. You know, life is so short and people can be really nasty. We know that. We watch it here each and every day about how nasty people can be online and otherwise. It is our responsibility, as good stewards of this country, to rise above all that, to rise above every bit of that and do good in our own life and be that beacon of hope for somebody else. Rise above, be that person that inspires somebody else. I really hope that each and every one of you guys are inspired by some of the work we do. We work very hard here, not just covering the cases, but cultivating an environment where you're cared for, you're loved, and you're inspired to do better. And we're doing it from the heart. We're doing it from the Word of God. When I came out here on YouTube, I said, God covers me with his armor, because there is no way in this world I'd be able to come here and deal with all the hate that I deal with for being who I am and covering these cases. And as you see, you know, while somebody's pointing the finger saying that, hey, we misrepresent, we don't tell the truth. And actually, in that very article that they're pointing the finger at me, they're misrepresenting the truth. They're not being honest. It's not Bullhorn Betty. Not Bullhorn Betty. You can't blame Bullhorn Betty for everything. I know it's easy to have a scapegoat, but it's time to start realizing you're in charge of your own destiny. If you don't like it, nobody's forcing you to watch it. Each day you have choices. Every single day you have choices. You have the choice to make wrong decisions, or you have the choice to make right ones. So I hope each and every person out there in YouTube world is making the right decisions. I'm going to go ahead right now. You guys are going to have to give me just a second. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our Google Voice so we can have open dialogue for the last half an hour. I've got it, depending on how the phones are, people are calling in a lot, then we will have to limit it to, 3 to 5 minutes per call. But if it's kind of relaxed and, not too many people, I don't mind letting you guys go a little bit further and talking a little bit more. But just have a conversation. What are your thoughts? But again, a big shout out if Brian Entin is watching this or ever decides to watch this in the future. Big shout out to you. You're my boy. You're my boy. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And thank you for never being nasty when you could be. So God bless you for that. God bless you for that. And no, I would never show up at your house with my bullhorn. Unless I wanted to. Who knows? On your birthday, you might get a big old special happy birthday with Bullhorn Betty with the bullhorn. Maybe you won't be offended by that. No, I'm just joking. All right, let's get this up and running. It's not up yet. All right, guys, we're official. We are on. The phones are on. The phones are on. I just thought it was cute. And I like how she's like, and he wouldn't say anything negative about Betty. Come on, it's funny. Oh my goodness. Let me go over to the backside. I haven't even seen anything on the backside yet. Hold on. Viewer activity. I just want to make sure that I got everybody. So Mama Bear 123 Boom says, thank you for everything you do. Amen. Jennifer L. Good morning, beautiful friends. And Andrew, I know we did read all this. Let me grab this. This is Betty.
Hi, Betty. This is Miss Lee, Mama 3.
Miss Lee, how you doing, babe?
I am good. I was just curious. I listened to a podcast, and I'm not going to say the name because I don't, but they did a little 5-minute special on the Idaho 4 case, and we're talking about Brian Koberger. And they were talking about how, everybody has pushed this narrative. Like there was one person that he was after, and that he left Dylan Mortensen alive. He saw her and just walked past her. And the specialist that they were talking to about it, I can't remember what his name was, but was saying that he went after one person and the other 3 were collateral damage because he had to kill them to get to her. And that's why he left Dylan, was because Dylan wasn't stopping him from getting to her.
Gotcha. Well, it doesn't, I don't know if that's necessarily accurate either, because
I was just wanting your opinion on it, because I thought here's
what I think, because he started on the top floor. So that means that Maddie and Kaylee were the first. So he had already killed his target. I mean, because I truly believe Maddie was the target. I don't know why. I said it was one of the two girls or both of the girls. But as information kind of started getting released, it really was apparent to me that it was it appeared to be Maddie as the primary target of this horrible crime. So if that was his target, then he already got her. What was the purpose of Zana or Ethan? Unless, and here's another side, unless the two girls from Mad Greek were the actual target as opposed to one. Those would be.
See, that's why I like bringing this info to you, because you always give us so many different perspectives on it.
Yeah, so it is possible. It is absolutely possible that it was one target. I thought it was at first when this started breaking, because it seemed like Kaylee was the most outgoing of them, and was so inspiring. She was graduating our school 2 years early. She already had the dream job. She just bought this car. I figured, just on the face that Kaylee was the target. But as information came forward and was being released, my perspective changed. And I can't remember specifically what it was that made my perspective change to Maddie, but it changed to Maddie. And I started looking at it, and I just don't believe that he knew that Kaylee was home.
Yeah, it would have made sense for him to know that she was in there, because she didn't live there anymore, right?
Right. She was fully moved home.
Yes, it blows my mind, the whole thing.
And Ethan wasn't supposed to be there either. So you got two people of the four that weren't even supposed to be there. And guess what? Both of them happened to be in bed with the people that were supposed to be there, because Kaylee didn't stay in her room. She stayed in the bed with Maddie. They were sleeping together, which is not uncommon for all the people out there with twisted minds. It's not uncommon for girls to sleep in the same bed.
Oh yeah, when I was their age, me and my best friend always stayed in the same bed, no matter where we were at.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No funny business went on. It's just girls are not guys. We don't have issues.
I'll say one more thing, and you might have already went over this because I've missed a few lately, but they were talking about how it was like very much like revenge killing kind of thing, as gruesome as not revenge killing, like overkill.
Yeah.
Like maybe he was angry about something with one of them, or I don't know how. I'm not saying it right, I don't think. But do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. No, there is an aspect of overkill. Overkill. When you have overkill, basically what it means is it's personal. When you have overkill, they just want the person. There's a lot of things. It could be anger. It could be, they lust this person so much they can't stand seeing them with somebody else, and they just want to make sure that they die because they didn't, so overkill it identifies it being more of a personal relationship, more of a personal attack. That's all overkill tells me.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted your perspective on it, because you break it down versus just like talking over it,
Yeah. Well, that's really it, because overkill, it just means that they were stabbed a lot of times. It just has the hint of it being personal, as opposed to somebody not knowing you and just shooting you a couple times and leaving. That's not overkill. But if you had somebody there that emptied their entire clip in you, then it's more or less personal, as opposed to just some stranger. So we know he was stalking them. We know he was going by the house. So it does tell me that it was personal. This was personal. Was it personal to him? Was it personal because somebody turned him down? Somebody insulted him? Maybe he didn't get the best service he should have gotten at Mad Greek and identified them as the victims that he wanted it. But I truly believe that no matter what, he went to Washington State University to carry out this crime. I think he knew he was going to find victims when he got there. I just don't think that they were named quite yet. I think over time, within the first month, he identified who he wanted to target, and he started targeting them.
That makes sense, because I think I agree with you that he had set in his mind, because I remember you talking about it a while back, about the Scream movies, that serial killer you were talking about. And I think that he had it planned out. He just didn't know exactly who it was going to be yet. And then all of a sudden something happened and it snapped, and he's like, okay, this is my people,
Yeah.
or my person, or whatever.
But but a lot of people haven't brought this up, and I have. I actually believe the reason why he went to Wazoo, so far away from his home, because if you look at other criminology programs, and I'm not, and this is not a dig or a dog Wazoo University at all. This is not. But there are just as good, if not better, programs at closer universities to him. If this was where he, what he wanted to go into, he would have had universities a lot closer to his home that he could have went to. And the reason why I think he went, I mean, this was literally the furthest college he could have possibly, the furthest university from his home he could have possibly went to. Literally the absolute furthest university that man could have went to, he went to. And that's the reason why, in my mind, my problem solving and critical thinking mind is telling me that he went out to Wazoo to specifically carry out this very act.
Yes, ma'am. All right, and one more thing, and then I'll let you go so other people can get in. Do you know yet if it's going to be televised, or if they're going to block like cameras in it?
They haven't even discussed that yet, because they're not to that point. Like even Leilani, they're doing this on almost like a case by case basis. Sometimes they can have the cameras in the courtroom with Leilani, and sometimes they just can't. So it's really up to the judge and whether how the judge feels about it. Every judge is allowed to make their own decision within their authority to do so. They can't go over their authority, but they can't block the press out completely. That's against the law. But they can put some stuff. So I don't know. I truly believe that they're probably going to do what Alec Murdaugh's case did, where they have a court order identifying one pooled videographer. That means, like for our case, it was Court TV. Court TV was the one that was allowed to go in there, and they're not allowed to put a copy. Like, it's literally in the order. They cannot claim a copyright on that matter. And it was crazy because.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, my child just come running in being a race car.
You got the cutest kids.
All right. Well, hopefully they will televise it, and we will get to stream it through you.
Yeah, I might, depending on how it works, I may be down. I may be up there for that particular. When this goes to trial, I may make the trip to Idaho to cover the trial in person.
Oh, that would be awesome. I wish I could go with you.
Yeah, it's something that I'd like to do, because we were one of the first YouTubers and TikTokers out to the area covering this case. And with all the media and the media circus, it would only be fair for us to be out there representing the social media sector of the press. And let's be honest, we are alternative media. It doesn't mean we are
100%. You tell the truth, whereas mainstream media is gonna push a narrative every time.
Yeah, and you know what? At the end of the day, they have to pay their bills too.
Yep.
I mean, look at Ashley Banfield with her anonymous sources.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that is ridiculous.
when you push, like, well, thank God for Just Samantha. Just Samantha was on it. She wasn't having none of it. She's like, oh, this is where she got this information. Oh, this is where she got this information. And then the last one, it's like, I already knew where she got that information from. She got it from the Pennsylvania attorney representing Brian Kohberger, because I watched the interview myself. I knew exactly where it came from.
That was everybody's source, not just hers.
I'm like, you got to be joking me here. I think we even played that interview on this channel. So, Ashley, if you're a fan of Bullhorn Betty, don't keep it a secret.
She secretly watches Coffee Club every morning. She just don't want to admit it.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, goodness.
Too much fun this Thursday.
All right. Well, I'll let you go so that people can get in.
All right.
And I'll try to call back soon.
Uh-huh.
You have a good day.
Bye-bye. Bye. Yes, we are. Justice for all. Yes, we are. I know somebody was calling in while she was on the phone. If you want to call back, you can. I'm sorry I couldn't get to your call, and I didn't turn the phones off. Oh, you're not the one that was calling in. This is Betty.
Betty.
Matt, what is shaking bacon?
Not much.
So what do you think? Vanity Fair dogging on poor old Bullhorn Betty. Pick a number and stand in line, baby.
Yeah, you're just gonna get bigger.
Yep. Noticeable, and that's, but we don't hear, the hate channels that hate me so much. We never hear their names. Their names are never, they never do anything to get any kind of attention whatsoever. Not that I want the negative attention, but hey, you know what? Obviously I'm the pimple on somebody's butt today.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
yeah, Brian Entin is a classy act.
He is. I love. You know what? I love Brian. I got nothing mean to say about him either.
You don't want Bullhorn Betty showing up in his house.
I thought that was cute, and thank God she said, he jokingly said, I might have to be texting Brian. Brian, what are you doing over here? Killing me.
Justin for all is in the house.
Justice for all. He says, hello, sinners. How did you know?
Justice for all, but the guy's name Justin.
Yeah. Oh, he's changed it to Justin for all. Oh, I love that. I never noticed that.
He
Justin.
did.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
Nice.
Justin for all. It's evolving.
So what do you think's going on? What do you think's going on?
What?
How are the cases we cover? Oh, you just popped in here. Oh, you missed a lot of the stuff that we covered. We covered Madalina Cojocari. They found out apparently their parents were drug smugglers or something, and they're trying.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then, but it kind of makes me feel like maybe, if the mom's story was true, where she was reaching out to smugglers to try. Well, first of all, they would have found narcotics in the car. I thought it said, I put my C in my R. I was having a dyslexic moment this morning. My God.
I saw that.
And so, but it was crazy because she's saying, oh, well, we called them because I was trying to get me and my daughter out of the house. Who the hell thinks to call a smuggler to get out of the darn house? Like, I have no.
You got to be a narco smuggler yourself.
Like, she was home alone.
To be in that circle.
Yeah. And how would you even know who to reach out to?
Because she is in the circle.
Yes. And so she even brought up herself, the human trafficking aspect of it, and that scares the crap out of me a little bit. Did you hand your daughter over? I mean, what?
Is she trafficking her own daughter?
I'm sorry, I'm getting that vibe. I've never had that vibe off that case until this article.
I haven't been following that case, but from what I just heard you say, that she didn't want to say something because she didn't want to upset her step-husband?
Her husband, yes, the stepfather of the girl.
Stepfather of the girl, right.
I'm like, you've got to be joking. I mean, I step on toes every day. I mean, I stepped on my husband's toes too.
First, no matter what.
Yes. Like it's one of the, but you know what? She's not from here. She's from a different culture. She's from a different country. The mom is not an American citizen. I mean, she might be an American citizen, but she wasn't born in America. And we have to know that other people, other countries, they have their own way of doing things. Women don't have the rights that they have here. So it could have been an ethnicity type of, culture thing.
What ethnicity is she?
I know she's from like Europe, some kind of European country. I don't know I can't remember exactly which. I knew it because I remember talking about it, but I can't remember because she used to do YouTubes with her daughter from her other country. I can't remember the specific country, but I know it's overseas.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. CZT says, hello, Miss Daisy. She puts in quotes, Justin.
Somebody's doing a skit on driving Miss Daisy.
Yep. Romanian. She's Romanian.
Romanian.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably under your husband's authority there.
Yeah. So I think it, and we're kind of, I mean, just to put it in perspective, I do want, I don't want people, I think the mom is crazy. I think she deserves to be behind bars. Don't get me wrong. But I do believe, some of the statements that we're taking as off-putting might easily be explained because of her
Yeah.
you know,
You're right.
country she comes from.
Exactly.
So people don't realize,
I
you
was
know,
on
America,
Dolly
we
last
have a lot of
night.
stuff here for us, but not other countries have it.
Right. I was in Dolly last night. I went to bed at 3 and got up at 4:45. I'm like, damn, can I get some sleep?
Aw, how's Dolly doing? I didn't even watch him.
He's doing good. He
Good.
chopped it up for quite a while.
Good, good. I hope he starts getting everything. He's just been hit with so much. I mean, I truly do just, my heart breaks for him. It really does. I don't know how to say it other than that. He's gone
He
through
takes it all in stride, you know. He gets up on his YouTube and it makes him feel better.
Yeah, and not only that, but he brings joy to, you know, he makes everybody laugh. That was one thing that brought me to his channel. You know, when I didn't know who he was. I remember the first time he popped into my chat, I think I cussed him out. I'm like, oh, you must be the asshole that talks about Bullhorn Betty. See, same kind of thing. Like, pick a number, stand in line, you jackass. And then and then I went over to his page one day and I'm like, holy crap, this guy's funny. This little guy is so funny. And so he was talking about Gabby Petito on another thing. So I reached out to him. I'm like, you got this fact wrong. You got this a little wrong. And da 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 da. And then next thing you know, he's one of my BFFs.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We talked about, I told him about my inventions and how I was sold like $1 million worth of my own inventions. He's like, damn, man, you go.
Yeah, well,
I don't usually talk about that kind of stuff because I'm not a bragger.
Yeah, but it blows people because patent stuff is even with my legal background, like the patents and that I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant to those laws. I mean, I know how to research them, but that's some difficult stuff to go through. To
It
read,
is.
you know,
There's a
all
whole
the
manual. There's a thing called MPEP, the Manual of Patent Examining Procedure, that I have like 6 inches thick.
Yeah.
That you go into if you have a question about what you're doing. Most people don't look at it, but I had a copy of it on my computer all the time. So
yeah,
I went to that.
Oh, Steffers, you're sweet. I see Steffers. I'm glad to see Steffers in the house. I missed her.
Oh, Steffers.
Yeah, my coffee bean, my original coffee bean.
Anyway, I just wanted to call and say, hey, I got to feed the dog, and the wife's going to get up within half an hour. So I got to be back in bed, so I don't stay up.
I know. I'm exhausted, and I don't know how. I came home and went to sleep. I slept last night, but for whatever reason, I'm not sleeping as well as I'd like to sleep. So, but anyways, let me run, Mab. I got people calling in.
All right, sweetie.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye.
This is Betty.
Hey, Betty, it's Turkey Man.
Hey, Turkey Man, how you doing, my friend?
Been busy. I hadn't had a chance to call in or even talk to you much. Break down the Murdoch case.
Yeah, and, I'm ready to hear it. What did you think?
Well, I really and truly, I listened to a lot of the testimony that you put up. I appreciate that, but I couldn't stay with every minute of it. But
don't worry, I couldn't either.
Well, I come to the conclusion that I felt like it'd be a hung jury.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. I felt like that it would be, and I felt like that maybe if that egg lady hadn't took her eggs and kind of topped out of school or whatever she did, and they took her off the jury, I think that shook up the jury in a way that I felt like that it wasn't going to be a hung jury. Not that it didn't need to turn out the way it is. Right. I mean, I felt like he had a hand in it. I really didn't think he would pull the trigger on his kids and his wife because he couldn't even take his own life, apparently.
Yeah.
And so that I was in that. It's sad. It's a sad case. It really is sad and just terrible. But I was just going to kind of talk out a little bit. I'm going to tell you about what what you said there a while ago about these people come at you. Every one of us has those people
Yep.
that come at you. And what I tell them is this: you don't have the right to jump front line.
Yep.
You don't have that right. There's people in front of you. You have to go very back line. Get your number, go very back line. But you can't come in here just you ain't earned that.
Yeah.
You can't get that. And so I understand what you're talking about. But I was going to ask you a quick question, because you know that we're started a YouTube page and been filming a little bit. But yesterday we took off all day. The young man that's he's in his 30s and he knows all the tech, kind of like Olivia. Of course, you know all, but Al, they know more than me for sure. And so we spent all day yesterday filming, and we went to this particular place that we wanted to interview. And so we asked permission, and the young man was really, he just, he said this. Told us all about the place. Had a great interview. I get home last night, just took a shower, and me and my wife went to bed early and laid down there, and my phone goes off. I look, he's texting or off Twitter. He DM'd me and said that his boss didn't want us to put it out, and this, that, and the other, and there wasn't nothing there that it was good information for the public. And between a rock and a hard place, so I'm feeling that I've got to go another route with that. So I, bring it a different direction, because I don't cause him no problem.
Right.
But I mean, by rights, it would be a right to go ahead and do it, but I don't want to cause him problems. And that's where he would get it, and I don't want him to get in trouble. But those are things that people that I'm learning. So I don't have the right to jump the front of the line. I got to learn this myself and make my mistakes and learn from that. And people like you and Dolly, I even talked to him back earlier a little bit, but I can't hardly get time frame that I can talk like I'm talking to you right now. Occasionally I do, but I just wanted to touch bases with you. If you got any knowledge or some guidance, I'd be appreciated if you pass it on to me. And
my only guidance
I
is
won't tell you that we care about you, and we really enjoy listening to you, and you're a blessing to us. And you keep up the good work, and I'm gonna get off here.
Thank you, Turkey Man. Thank you. But the only advice I say to people is do what you feel is right. If you think a story is a good story, don't let anybody stop you from saying it. I know that you're a preacher and stuff. If you have the word on you and you need to get that out, it's meant to be. That's what I truly believe. What is. And you just have to trust yourself and push through it and stay focused on what you're trying to convey.
Well, that's very true. This particular case here, it was a place that the outdoor world would be interested in. It would be kind of like going into a sporting goods store, for instance, and just instead of filming, you have somebody that works there that walks you through and tells you everything about it, and then all of a sudden his boss said, "You don't have the right to do that."
Oh, yeah. So those would be things that I would be like, okay, well, maybe that wouldn't be something, but other things, that's also why we get permission, for literally everything. But occasionally, I'm one of those people, and I know it's not the most honorable thing, but it's like one of those things. It's easier to say sorry than it is to ask for permission. So sometimes.
Well, and I think I mentioned this one day. I did talk to you, but it sticks out in my mind. You and Olivia was in this place that they throwed hatchet and knives.
Yeah.
When you was out in Idaho, and when you first went in there, you could tell that they kind of was standoffish somewhat with you, and then they got to know what you was all about. Here they're trying to show you how to do it, and and you was able to gather that. Well, stuff like that would be what I would be doing.
Yeah.
The part that you was throwing the hatchet and the knives and stuff like that, and that guy was really good.
Yeah.
Well, it's similar to that situation.
And he was nice too, and I was thankful that he took us under his wing, and he's like, come on in, let me just show you around, and I was like, okay. And then he gave us training session. Now I can throw a dagger. Think about that. Uh-oh.
All right. Well, you throwing plenty of darts.
Now I can't throw a dart, but give me a hatchet. I'm good to go.
No, I was talking about these people that come at you. You throw darts.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Have a good one.
All right. God bless. Bye-bye. Oh, we love Turkey Man. We love Turkey Man. If you guys have not hit the thumbs up yet, please go out and hit the thumbs up on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We have already went over our 2 hours. I try to keep it to 2 hours because I know my lovely friends don't like me hogging YouTube, and we do share subs. So I'm going to relinquish you guys. I want to say thank you all for coming and enjoying your morning with me. It has been quite the trip. I got to say my cheeks hurt because I've been laughing and smiling so much this segment. I found it awfully comical with the Vanity Fair depiction of Bullhorn Betty. That's okay. Kudos again to Brian Entin for keeping it real and not being a jerk. Right? He could have been. But God bless him. God bless him for having integrity and character and class for that matter. So kudos to Brian Entin. Kathleen, I hope you call me. I hope I can change maybe some of your misconceptions and misguided views of social media influencers such as myself that cover true crime. We work very hard. In a lot of cases, we have to work harder than anybody else. Hold on, Mama Bullhorn's calling in. Let's see what she has to say. Yo.
Hey.
You're on live.
I heard Turkey Man and Mab, and I was trying to, if you'll notice, I tried to call so I could say hello in person.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody posted on there this morning what Mama Bullhorn would think of the Vanity Fair article, and I missed it because I overslept.
Oh.
I was up till 4 a.m.
Not my problem, Bob.
Then when I fell asleep, I slept for 3 hours.
Okay, so anyways, I'm wrapping up my live, so not to be rude. Not to be rude, but spit it out.
Jeez. Oh well. Made me lose my thought.
You were talking about the Vanity Fair article and what you would think about it.
Yeah, I didn't read it yet, but Coffindoffer. She's on board with Fox, just like Brian Entin. It's happened this week. She's a full-time contributor.
Yeah, Brian Entin's not with Fox. Brian Entin is with News Nation.
I know, but I think he's a free agent, isn't he?
No.
Because Fox used to post some of his stuff.
Just like us, when we had that interview with Cassie Laundrie, we sent that over to Brian Entin. Brian Entin sent that over to other news organizations. So it was our interview, but that's what we do. We share the stuff around. So the reason why Brian Entin was able to get a hold of the footage of the interview that we did with Cassie Laundrie is because he got it from us. And again, that's why I try to say, we all help each other out. We don't care where we come from. We don't care if we're mainstream media or alternative media. I mean, we're still respectable. We're still respect each other's craft, And I think that was demonstrated in this article with Vanity Fair.
Oh, and Justin, I know you're on here. I love your Miss Stacy alter ego. I swear to God, I bust the rib every time I watch it. I watched yesterday. I was stuck here at the house waiting for AC maintenance, and I watched it, and I'm stuck here today for the electrical inspector. So anyhow, I just love Miss Daisy because, Andra, as you know, we know a lot of Miss Daisy.
We do. We even know Crazy Daisy.
And a couple of them are in the family.
Oh shoot! I was meaning to read Stepher's comment. Hold on. Let me read Stepher's comment. I put it up, but I forgot to read it. It says, "That's why I'm 9 months in. Haha, membership. I continue to support you, BHB. You're real and out there doing the work and bringing awareness. Thank you, Love Bug. Not Coffee Bean. Thank you, my beautiful baby Coffee Bean.
Speaking of coffee, I've only had a half a cup. I'm just dying. But anyways, I'll let you go.
All right. Well, Justin says thank you, Mama Bullhorn, with a bunch of hugs and kisses.
Well, I always thumbs up. I comment, but I don't think he knows who I am.
That's okay. Keep your identity a secret.
Okay.
I'll send him a text so he knows from moving forward.
Okay. I love you.
I love you too.
Love you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Well, first of all, anybody that worries about what Mama Bullhorn thinks about an art, you know what? She probably laughs at stuff just like me, because at the end of the day, you know, she knows the place I walked, where I've been, and she knows where I am now. So it's funny. And you know what? Kind of at the end of the day, why did we get so much hate from the news organizations in Chatham County? Because we took their entire audience. Nobody was paying attention to them because they were doing willy-nilly work, and it was showing. And if you don't like it, you got to step your game up. At the end of the day, we're here. Social media is here. Social media influencers are here. We're not going anywhere. So you can be insulting to us, but I can guarantee there's going to be a day that you're going to need, and this is for Vanity Fair too. There's going to be a day that you're going to need to interview Bullhorn Betty, because I've been out in the field and I'm covering a case that I am going to be prime meat for, because we've been covering the case so much. And guess what, Vanity Fair? When you call Bullhorn Betty, just like when Ashley Banfield calls me, right? And she has, I say, no, I'm not interviewing with you. You're not going to get money off of my work when you've dogged me before, right? So there will be time in the future, and this is why it's very important to be careful who you criticize. But there will be a time. There will be a time. Somebody is going to want to speak to me, as they've done many times, right? A lot of people don't know. They want to beat me up all the time, but what they don't know, they don't know. And you guys will be in the know here in the near future, right? You guys will be in the know in the near future. I can't say a whole bunch right now. Can't say a whole bunch right now, but there's a lot of stuff going on, you know, for me. A lot of big things going on for me at the moment. Lots of big things. So as those big things start rolling out, trust me, the hate's going to ramp up. It is what it is. Sort of Spirits just sent a message here. Before I sign off here, let me just go through the emails. I know there's some emails that came in. So there's an Amber Alert out for an 8-year-old girl reported out of Cold Spring. It's on YouTube right now. Let's just see if we can bring some awareness. There we go. We'll just pull this up. Give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm trying to see what's going on here. Hold on. Oh, Miss Potty Mouth, 4-month milestone. Thank you, Love Bug. God bless you. So let me stop sharing this screen. Let me share this screen here. There it is. There is the 8-year-old that is missing right here. There she is. If you guys have seen her, you're asked to call law enforcement. I'm not going to play this article too much, but an 8-year-old is reported missing out of Cold Springs, Texas. Again, Cold Springs, Texas, and there's her beautiful face. So Sword of the Spirit, if you want to send me some more information on her or give me her name, I will be happy to look into it, and maybe we'll address it tomorrow morning if she is still missing. And let me see what else we've got here. Orrin and Weston case. Andrea, please consider reporting this case. It's national attention for 2 years. Court finally started this week. Adopted parents are in custody, but their attorney today asked the judge to drop the case due to lost evidence. All right, so we know that we did talk about Classic and Sincere on this channel a little while ago. I wasn't really, because by the time I kind of got into this and got to the point where we could actually cover this case, the parents had already been arrested. AV Watchman was out there during the arrest of the parents, and that's really what I started talking about. We kind of got away from this story a little bit because we knew that the parents were arrested and in jail. And the case, the facts of this case are really, really bad. So much so that it appears that they may even have had their other children help them dispose of these two boys, which is, again, beyond sad. That you not only do this, but you expose children to this as well, and the effects that that's going to have on these children for years to come is just something that I don't even want to entertain. But yes, my notepad is out in the. Is my notepad out in the car? My main notepad is out in the car, I believe, but I've got. There we go. Let me write this down, and it's. And we'll do some updates on this, and I'll do some public records requests later this afternoon to see where we're at, and then we'll discuss this. But thank you, Donna, for bringing that to my attention. And yes, I will start looking into that. But we did cover some of this case, just not a whole lot. Emily Moore, you were mentioning the newest article about the Idaho case. I'm not a subscriber, but was about to copy the article before I was redirected. I bolded your name in red. Yes, everybody does. It's okay. I appreciate it. We don't really care. We don't really care. The bottom line is people talk about Bullhorn Betty. Bullhorn Betty, Bullhorn Betty, Bullhorn Betty. That says a lot, right? It does. You don't hear other people's names being talked about like me. Nobody. So you know what that tells me? Tells me I'm doing a damn good job, and I'm going to continue to do it. For all the people that follow me, for all my subscribers, and no, I do not go out of my way to misrepresent cases, lie about cases, tell you guys to go on witch hunts. As a matter of fact, we do just the opposite. So for all those reporters out there that would like to write a story about Bullhorn Betty, at least if you're going to say that you're trying to say I'm misrepresenting some kind of truth, maybe you should look at yourself before you worry about me. Just a thought, but that's okay. I'll keep rocking it out, and you guys can keep talking it out. For all the other people, don't forget to be fearless, folks. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, you all be safe, and God bless.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.